Hello, everyone. I forgot to do the intro. So, you know what? I'm not above admitting when I make mistakes. Let's do it. Hey, now we're ready to begin. Oh my goodness. Why is that banner of one taco still there? Let's hide that. There we go. Hey, that's me. I am Paul Britton. I am here for today's wonderful episode of Real to Real Talk. We are doing movie reviews because that's what the show is now, baby. It's movie reviews, mostly newish movies. I'm gonna try to obviously I'm gonna prioritize things that are released in a particular week, but I didn't get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this weekend. Going to see it with friends. They weren't available this weekend. And then the other thing was I'm not going to see Meg 2. So that's just not gonna I am being taking a little more editorial rage on this. And I'm not seeing stupid, terrible movies, which is something that Sergio and I have been doing all year. We have not been seeing the absolute worst of the worst. And I believe Meg 2 would be in that category. So here we are, doing stuff. And the one I'm reviewing is something that came out the week before. It's Talk to Me. It's a horror movie. And I'm telling you right now, it's an instant classic. Now, I understand your apprehension in listening to me when I say it's an instant classic because I'm not the biggest horror guy in the world. And I own that. I own the fact that I am not the biggest horror fan in the world. But when there is a good horror movie that I like, I come out and I preach for it. And that's what I'm doing tonight. I am preaching for Talk to Me. This is a movie that is just it comes out of Australia, and it just absolutely just it's an original 90-minute horror flick. Bravo. That's what I want for my horror movies, by the way. I want originality and I want 90 minutes. Nothing more and nothing less. I mean, we all know I'm a big fan of Exorcist movies, and that's something that we're going to get to later in the year when the new Exorcist movie comes out. I got to see a trailer for that. I was excited. But another thing I like is zombie movies. But this is a demon possession movie. Is really what this is. Ghost possession movie. And it also includes one of the things that I don't like about horror movies, which is teenagers doing stupid shit. That's one of the things I'm just but this does that in a way that it's like, oh, you know what? This isn't like typical teenagers doing stupid shit. This is like, all right, this is this is definitely within the realm of I get the kind of stupid shit that you're doing, teenagers. I forgive you. The movie begins with just an absolute banger in intro where we see a kid looking for his brother, and he finds his brother in distress in this party, and his brother just goes nuts. And yeah, it's upsetting right off the bat. And then we find out how he went nuts was by communing with dead people through use of a hand that is like just a ceramic hand, but apparently it has like the bones of a clairvoyant in it or something. They hypothesize on what's going on, but they never really actually, like, it's never like, okay, this is exactly what's going on. But the hypothesis is enough that it's like, okay, that's what's going on. And so what ends up happening is they go to a different group of kids who now have this hand, who are kind of using it at parties, and you see YouTube clips of the kids using this hand at parties. And it's just the way they do the possessions is really good, because what happens is you get possessed by a ghost, is it is in essence what happens. And it's really well done. And you it doesn't try to do too much, and that's a thing that I've been talking about a lot lately. I think is that there's just so many movies that try to do this and this and this, like it's teenagers playing with a hand and their mom needs medicine and they just lost their job and so they don't know how they're going to pay for the medicine. And it's like, we don't need all that. All you need is the kids found a hand and let's deal with it. There's a little backstory for the kids where, this is revealed in the trailer, so this is non-spoilery, where, one of the kids' mom's dead. And so, she wants to connect with her mom. And that is sort of that is the thread for the movie that pulls everything, to a bloody conclusion. And the one thing I will say is that the conclusion of this movie is really like telegraphed. And I mean, you could literally probably guess what it is right now. Like just based on everything I've said and everything, just having seen the trailer, you could probably be like, oh, okay, this is what probably happens. And then as you're watching the movie, it's like, oh yeah, this is clearly what's going to happen. And it happens. And it still works. And I love that. I love when a movie could just be like, hey, look, this is where we're going. But trust me, it's gonna be all right. And you're gonna like it. And it was all right. And I liked it. And so yes, look, I support small films. This was a small A24 film. Support international movies, the Australian movie. You don't have to read subtitles. They're speaking nice, clear Australian English. Good enough. Support movies that have female lead characters. Support Talk to Me. I'm giving it 4 tacos, 4 really, really strong tacos. Great movie. Highly, highly recommend. Go check it out. Next movie is not one you would see in theaters. This was streaming. It's called The Beanie Bubble. And this is, Hollywood's obsession with crazy corporate capers continues, and that's what this is. So earlier in the year it was Air and the corporate capers of the Nike trying to lure Michael Jordan. Then later in the year it was Tetris and American and capitalism and trying to how Nintendo became the biggest player in the planet because of Tetris. They had Mario Brothers, but they needed something more, so they got Tetris, and all that is revealed in the movie Tetris. And now we get the Beanie Bubble. I'm sure there's another one that I missed. I don't care. Look, the one thing that this movie and the Tetris movie reveals is that if you make the rich people seem dumb and funny dumb, then crazy corporate capers can actually work out okay and are semi-tolerable if you don't have Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. All right. So this movie does not have Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It does have Zach Galifianakis, which is amazing, awesome. Look, Zach Galifianakis, come on. I hopefully I don't have to tell you about Zach Galifianakis. But it also has Elizabeth Banks, and guess what? Hopefully I don't have to tell you about Elizabeth Banks. She's awesome too. 2 awesome comedic actors joining power in Krazy Kapitalism Kapers. And so Zach Galifianakis, as you can imagine, plays an eccentric weirdo who just so happens to have an idea and is helped out by 3 different women throughout his life, and underappreciates every single one of them. The problem with the Beanie Bubble is that it starts right off with, hey, we're going to give you a movie that's based on real events. Oh, by the way, not everything in this movie is real. Oh, I remember the other one. It was the one about the Cheetos, I can't remember, Flamin' Hot, the Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And look, that's great, you know, and it was funny too. But enough. Okay, like yes, this movie was wacky and funny. I you win. You win. You were wacky and funny. I don't need more crazy corporate crazy capitalist capers. I don't need it. I'm good. This is the last one. We're done, right? Can we all agree? We're done. There's really no other, capitalism story we need to tell that shows how crazy capitalist capers can be funny. We don't need it anymore. I'm just going to give you 3 tacos and hope you go away. All right. Like I wanted to give you 2 tacos plus guac. But I'm giving you the 3 full tacos in the hopes that you go away and don't make any more of these. Okay, please. Like, and I'm going to still watch them because they are still funny and you do an excellent job of casting, but no more. The last movie I'm doing, oh my God. Okay. So this is where we have a serious talk about how much I love disaster movies. And this is a disaster movie, and it's a disaster. All right, so this movie is on Hulu, so it's free to watch. It's it's not long. I think it clocks in at like 1:45, which is great. That's fine. Might even been like 1:40. Hey, guess what? It stars a completely unrecognizable Skeet Ulrich. I had no idea. Like I literally found out today that when I was looking at the IMDb page prepping for this, I was like, oh my God, that was Skeet Ulrich. I mean, that guy was freaking hot. The guy that he plays in this movie is not freaking hot, but that's all right. Hey, good for you, Skeet Ulrich. I'm glad you're getting paid. It features Anne Heche, who passed away last year, so that's sad. I literally had to go onto her IMDb page just to make sure that there's more stuff coming out, because the idea that this is her last movie kind of bummed me the fuck out. So thankfully, not her last movie. Hopefully somebody gave her something interesting to do. Knocking on wood. Let's just band together and hope that Anne Heche doesn't go out like with things like Supercell. But the biggest thing, and I knew nothing about this movie other than it was brand new on Hulu because I turned on Hulu and it was right there. I was like, oh, okay, this will be fun. I can do this. The biggest thing was all of a sudden Alec Baldwin shows up, and goddamn you, Alec Baldwin. I love you. You're I hate myself for honestly being honest here and saying the movie instantly went up in enjoyability about 60% as soon as Alec Baldwin showed up, because it's fucking Alec Baldwin. I'm not above admitting that Alec Baldwin's, made this movie at least somewhat entertaining for me. Dear God, disaster movies that don't have budgets are interesting. So, I'm going to spoil this movie a little bit. You'll be all right. Trust me. So the movie opens with a kid sitting on a roof with his dad talking about storms and tornadoes. His dad's obviously a tornado chaser, and a la Bill Paxton in not Bill Paxton. Shit. Yeah, it was Bill Paxton in Twister. So that's what we're dealing with here. Okay, so it's a tornado movie, and it's literally just Twister. Okay, so that's fine. But except they don't ever actually show the face of the father. Like, there's a lot of like shots of the kid's face with the father's hand like on his knee, like his own knee, not his kid's knee. Like, it's just like weird angles to show that the father is here, but we're not going to make you, attached to him in any way, shape, or form. By the way, huge red flag, this guy's going to die. And sure enough, before we get 5 minutes into the movie, the guy dies in a horrible, tragic accident chasing a tornado. And like, it's so stupid because it's like they're loading up he's having these college kids load up the car with him, and he's like, you know, oh, you better wear your suit belt. He's like, I don't need a suit belt. Like, okay, your funeral. It's like, come on, you've done enough. You've done enough to tell us that this guy's gonna die. You don't need to like just pile it on any thicker than you already have. Thanks. So sure enough, the guy dies, and then fast forward 15 years, the kid's in high school, and he sneaks out of his high school second story window to go up on the roof when he looks out the window and sees that a tornado is coming. He's just like his father, and then when he gets home that very same day, just happens to receive his father's storm journal in the mail from his uncle. Um, you know, because nobody's ever sent a journal to a kid in the mail before in a movie. So, we clearly we can't have the kid stay wherever he is. He's in Florida, by the way. Which, by the way, I'm in Florida. We get tornadoes too, so it's not like Tornado Alley, but it's in Texas or in Oklahoma and stuff. But whatever. Okay, so he goes. Skeet Ulrich is his uncle. His uncle is for some reason surprised that the kid shows up on his doorstep, and then we find out that his uncle works for is doing tourists. Is taking tourists out to find tornadoes, and with a company that is owned by Alec Baldwin, and it's everything that you would expect the movie to be from this point on. Anne Heche plays his mom, so obviously Anne Heche needs to go hunt him down, and chastise the uncle for being a bad uncle. Alec Baldwin's an asshole because he's Alec Baldwin, but because he's Alec Baldwin, he's an asshole that has a redemption story arc. Okay, he's Alec Baldwin. I'm that's fine. You can have redemption story arcs all you want. Yeah, this movie's not a good movie, but it is funny. In its not goodness. It's getting 2 tacos. It's definitely a one taco movie with a taco for Alec Baldwin because God bless Alec Baldwin. But yeah, I mean that's where we are. Those are the 3 movies. Super fast. I hope you liked. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. You can comment here. I will absolutely have conversations with people if they want to comment stuff. I'm not above like getting into horrible arguments with people while they're commenting because I'm petty. I want everybody to know that I love you all, and I appreciate that you are going to see movies or staying at home and watching movies, but definitely movies. Yeah, remember, you're awesome. You're amazing. The world's a better place because you are in it. Thanks for coming out to Real Talk. I will see you next week.